I'm gonna tell you right now, 30 days ain't gonna do shit for you. The permanent, you wanna make it permanent. Permanent, you start talking about a year, 18 months, 2 years, that's a sacrifice. And when you commit yourself to something for a year, you're not gonna say, oh, I'm gonna let that go. Because in your mind, you have it clear as day. That year took a lot out of me. That year built me. That year started to scrape away all that scar tissue, started to clean me up. 30 days doesn't clean shit up. 30 days just kind of covers up, put a blanket over it. It's like putting a rug over it. A year, it cleans you up nicely, man. Whatever your problem is, if you can dedicate yourself for a year to something, you can be a changed person.
Really? You know what? So many women say to me, you're so, Andrew, you know what? You're so rich, but you're smart and you're actually very intelligent. And I know you'd get really bored of a robot. And I'm sitting there thinking, bitch, I wish to God you were a robot. You better shut the fuck up. We talk about star signs? Oh yeah, I'm so glad. Tell me more about by Sagittarius rising, you idiot.
The world at large has told you, watch Netflix, eat the bugs, watch Disney, don't have a sword, don't walk around with a sword. That's what they want you to do.
I hate everyone equally. Don't come at me and call me sexist or racist or any of these things. I hate everyone. I don't care if you're black, white, straight, gay, man, and woman. I hate you anyway. You're standing there and they say, oh, I don't actually eat gluten.
Most people just look at me as the guy that runs and yells as he's running. And that's, while I do that, to motivate people, but people don't understand that my day is broken up into segments. I work out, I eat, I sleep, but I spend most of my time studying.
Are you waking up looking at the books and going, yeah, fresh day, right, let's learn?
I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real. So, I'm not a real smart guy. And what I mean by that is, I was born with ADD, ADHD. My brain cannot retain information. I'm not some genetic freak when it comes to running, when it comes to lifting weights. I am absolutely the bottom of the barrel. And people will never believe me. And they can just, whatever, believe what you want to believe. So when you ask me this question about what does studying look like for me, I have to go over the same page over and over and over and over again, the same page until it's photographic memory from writing the same thing down. And then from there, I'll go back through and relearn again. So I'll learn the bulk of it, but then I'll go through and learn the small things within that. Everything I do in life, it sucks. Everything I do in life, it sucks. That's why when I was 300 pounds and 24 years old, it wasn't like, let's just go be a Navy SEAL and let's lose some weight. No, I knew my entire life was gonna be a struggle, which is why I just ignored it. This is why I feel sorry for no one. I was the lowest form on earth, no talent, no ability to learn, and I literally know what it is to be rock bottom and to build that up. So that question about learning is a pain in my ass, and I don't have to do it. So think about it, I'm 49 years old and I'm a multi-millionaire. I don't have to do anything. So all I thought about when I was growing up is, man, I can't wait till one day it gets to the point where I no longer have to do this stuff. But what happens, as I got older, it became a way of living. So how I do every day is how I do every day. It's a discipline, it's a regimen, it was a choice I made. And the choice I made was, what are you willing to sacrifice and what are you willing to give up to find every bit of who you are as a human being? And I was willing to give up everything to do that. So studying is no joke.
So the process of writing things down by hand is important for you. Do you think about that stuff on your runs too?
So when I write it down and I'm actually looking down at this table right now because I'm back to write. So I'm actually there right now as I'm speaking to you. I write it down in a way that I'm memorizing page 69. So I'm writing it down, so then writing it down and that page sync together in my brain. So I'm looking at the book through and I'm like, and I'm flipping pages in my head of where that page was. And how I do that is just from how I write it and how it's on the page. When I run, I can't recall any of it. I cannot bring any of that because I'm running. How my mind is wired now is that everything I do is what I do. Because the focus it takes for me to, like right now, I'm running. I'm not like a great runner. I'm not like injury free. So like my first 20 minutes of the run, I'm limping. I'm literally limping because I've had several knee surgeries and my body was twisted. And so now it's untwisting. So people look at me, oh, it looks like he's limp, like limping when he runs. I am limping when I run. My body's jacked up, so I'm focusing on how to get the best out of a broken body. So everything I do is a total focus on what I'm doing at that point in my life.
Is there a similar feel?
I watch people every day go through life, and it's so easy. For me to be where I'm at today, it takes every bit of me. So when I speak about it, the tempo will rise, the passion will come out, because I'm back there. I'm doing what I do every day to become a human being. And so nothing is easy. Like running is running. It sucks, but you have a choice to make. Do you want to sit down and go back to that guy you once were? No. So this is what it takes. I do these things because maybe someone out there will understand me and get it and say, I can grow from this guy, and others just won't.
When you put a shirt on, you do your little buttons up because you don't want anyone to look at you. Don't want to show your fucking little shitty ass flabby chest.
And I don't want you to like say, look, I made a mistake, I'm a bimbo, and those things, because you know what? I don't think women should be discussed that way. Like he was saying that women make mistakes all the time, can't even drive cars, all this shit.
What the fuck?
I don't think.
Now, if anybody doubts me, if you want to doubt the top G, I will offer here right now, we're going to do a $50,000 bet. We'll put the money in escrow in Bitcoin, $50,000 each. And I will do any test you name with any doctor, USDC, USDA, the best doctor that tests my hemoglobin, see the size of my ball sack. We'll do it all, because you're going to find out that I ain't taking nothing. I don't need to. I'm one of God's favorites.
Only a cat-owning bitch would complain to the police about a fucking joke. Fine, you're upset you lost your cat. Fair enough, yeah, the joke may have been a little bit, risque. Who calls the police on a fucking joke? Cat owners. Cat owners are liberals. Cat owners believe in hate speech. Cat owners are Democrats. Cat owners are dickheads.
These motherfuckers have got fucking liquid that tastes like tomatoes in a fancy ass package, printed all nice, shipped from the other side of the world, from China to fucking the West. And I can sit there and then some motherfucker's like, oh, it's bad for me. Duh. The fuck? How are people surprised by this shit?
Don't challenge me. You're effectively challenging me to a fight now. You're saying I wouldn't cry. You're challenging me to a fight. You're saying I can't hurt you. You're out of your fucking mind? Because it's not going to be like, oh, hurt them enough so they enjoy it. No, I'm just going to straight hurt you. I don't even have to fuck you. Forget the sex part. That's a distraction. My dick can stay in my pants. I'll just start beating the shit out of you. How about that? We walk in the bedroom. I start kicking your ass. I find myself super funny. I find myself super funny. I am super funny.
I know women because I made a lot of money for women. Let me tell you something. I've been attacked plenty of times. And I've talked about this in another video already, but they are absolutely feeble. Even with a knife, they're useless. They ain't ready for the big man slap. I got a big hand. I'll bust their jaw with the bottom of my hand, and the top of their head will feel the sting from the fingers, like the whole boom.
A lot of you are trying to find inspiration and motivation with a depressed mindset. You're depressed because you're not doing shit with yourself. You don't find inspiration by not living in the grip of life. You need to live in the grip of life to find inspiration. Put challenges in front of yourself. When you put a challenge in front of yourself and you attack it, that's when you find inspiration. Try to be 10% better than you were last week. So if you're running 30 miles a week, run 33. If you're swimming 500 meters, swim 550. If some of you aren't doing shit, your 10% is just getting off the couch. The more you walk away from accountability, the weaker you become. Find yourself in the grip of life. You can't find yourself by doing nothing.
Let me see if I can fix myself. So I said, if I can just walk one more mile after being in the worst shape of my entire life, this would change everything for me mentally going forward. From this kid who came from dirt, nothing, who couldn't read until he was a junior in high school and is now here. I walked a mile. I said, maybe I can walk one more mile. Maybe I can walk another mile. At mile 81, my ex-wife looked at me and said, you're not gonna make the time. When your mind knows it's not going to quit, and this is what I found out, this is my 40% rule. When your mind knows it's not going to quit, your body will adapt to whatever is in front of it. I ended up running 20 more miles. I did 101 miles in 19 hours and 6 minutes. And that one day changed, 19 hours. It wasn't SEAL training, it wasn't Ranger School, it wasn't Delta Force, it wasn't any of that crap I went through. It was this 19 hours and 6 minutes that forever changed my life to know that we as human beings are capable of anything. And we don't need any special kind of parents or tools to get there. So I end you with this. Don't stop when you're tired, stop when you're done. Thank you very much.
Come on. Get it. 17. You don't know me, son. Get it. 18. You don't know me, son. Get it. 19. You don't know me, son. Yeah. 20. You got some more in you. 21. Yeah. Get it again. Come on. We want to see it. Good. 22. Who's going to carry the boats and the logs? That's you, buddy. Come on. 23. Come on. 24. One more, David. Who's one more to carry the boats? You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. You did it. Yeah.
When's the last time I got lucky? And he's like, don't do it. It's like, bro, don't trust the big G. I'm gonna go to the casino with this 70. I'm gonna turn it into 100 because we have like a few days. We gotta pay this bill. And he's like, don't do it. I was like, bro, it's a big brother. Relax. So I went to the casino and lost all the money.
Because when I sit here as the richest person who's ever fucking wasted his time talking to your fucking dumbass and tells you what to do, you don't fucking listen to me. Oh, well, Tate, you know, maybe he's wrong about, you're broke. How can I be wrong when you're in the poor category and I'm in the rich category? I obviously know something you fucking don't, you arrogant dickhead.
Breathe air. You don't need a vape. Have you ever seen anyone with a vape? Have you ever sat in a room? So we go, wait, let me just go, my vape's done charging. Load it up. I mean, I smoke cigars, but I know what the fuck I'm doing. Give me a big fat cigar.
You go to your job. Sorry.
One dude, he must have been about 50, got naked, then go on the dance floor and just like start to dance. Just like, yeah. If you want to dance, just like, why would you get completely naked and just go do your shit dance?
Hey man, bro, look, yeah, bro, when you held his hand, you need to do the inverse flip, and then all of them running and getting on skateboards, and then skateboarding around the floor, and pretending they're doing their geeks, bro.
The bro geeks and all the fucking losers on Instagram like, oh, hope I can get a girlfriend. Me, all I have to do is say, okay. I'm gonna be like, bang, oh, I've seen that before. Okay, boom, boom, duck and dive in, take one terrorist out. Next, get the AK, go Rambo, take out all of fucking Pakistan with a Jeep. I don't play games.
Traffic's going this way. The traffic stopped. Traffic, she comes out, instead of just turning right and going on her way, she comes and just crashes into this car. And I sat there and I thought, how are women allowed to drive?
Bodybuilding is a beauty pageant where dudes try their best to put on muscle so other dudes can say, you're the best looking dude. It's gay.
One thing that changed my life is my grandfather. He told me, you're going nowhere in your life. You're not being anything. As bad as that hurt me, it got me to pull my head out of my ass. So learn to stay hard, have thick skin, and do what's right. What you need is the one thing I talked about in my book, was a straight up, brutal work ethic. You have to be willing to outwork everybody in the world. And that's the hard part. That's the hard part. This isn't like some 5-step process where if you do these 5 steps, you're gonna end up with this magical world. Nah, I'm basically teaching you how to callous over your victim's mentality. This is all about the quitting mind. So what's the quitting mind? So Let's say it's day one of a job interview. You have your clothes laid out. You've been preparing for weeks and weeks and weeks. You show up and you bring your best self. After a couple months, you start showing up to work a little later. You don't look as good. Your breakfast isn't ready. Your mind's getting softer. Repetition every day. Stay hard. Most important conversation is the one you have with yourself. You wake up with it, you walk around with it, you go to bed with it. Eventually, sometimes you act on it good, sometimes bad. You got to change the internal dialogue. That person in your head that's talking that to you, until you change the internal dialogue in your head, until you callous over the victim's mentality that the world is out to get you because of you are the only, you got to change that. I once had that mentality that no one understands what the I'm going through. And if you keep that mentality, you're going to stay in the same exact spot that you're in, that no one understands me. There's millions of people. Why do you think a book that I self-published, is doing so well with a story that's so f***ed up? People like, I'll never forget when I went to a publishing house, like, who's going to resonate with this story? No one's going to buy this book. I'm like, are you not in the world? Are you not in society? You're never alone. Everybody's going through So when people get this mentality of like, you don't understand me, you can throw a rock to someone that can understand you if they're willing to break themselves down and stop hiding. A lot of people understand you, but you got to stop hiding. And that's why I tell people, a lot of people are going through they just hide better than you did. That's all they did. They're just hiding better. You'll find work. A lot of us give total control to life. We don't have any control of it. We just give all control to life. I do this shit every morning to prepare my mind for what life's gonna throw at me. A healthy body gives you a healthy mind. That's what it's about. So if you go into battle, you wanna go into battle with the right mindset, the right gear. In combat, you wear body armor. But what we do wrong is we don't strengthen our minds. You gotta strengthen your mind. Take control of that. Most of us live our entire lives avoiding failure. It's funny. I walk around, people come to me and they say, man, you're that Navy SEAL, you went through Ranger School, you're, Air Force TAC B, you did the pull-up record, you run all these ultra races, all this shit, man. The funny thing about it that I think about is this. They know that part of me. This is the part I know about myself. I failed the ASVAB test to get in the military 3 times. In the Air Force, failed at pararescue. In the SEALs, it took me 3 times to get through Navy SEAL training. The pull-up record took me 3 times. This is what I know about me. So what I'm saying is this. You can't live your life being afraid to fail. All those failures made me the success in the day. Stay hard, stay in the fight. As you know, I'm a serious introvert and very afraid of people. I got judged so much growing up that this is uncomfortable for me. All these podcasts, that's why I post once a week. But the one thing I realized why I wrote the book is, honestly, I have a story to tell, as we all have a story to tell. And what I realized on my journey was a lot of us don't believe that we can achieve the impossible. And along my journey, I started realizing, man, I gotta tell some people about this shit, man. Like, I discovered something that some people have, but they don't even know. All of us have it. But along this way, I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't a theorist. I became a practitioner. And I was like, my God, I'm busting down so many barriers of, like, I have a learning disability. Okay, but I'm catching up with everybody. I figured that out. I figured out all these negative things in my life that were keeping me in this hole. I'm like, I gotta tell people, man, that, hang on a second, man. You can achieve the absolute impossible.
I first made my millions of dollars. The first time I ever became a millionaire was with Webcam Studio.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, this is how I first ever made money. I mean, I was a kickboxing world champion, but kickboxing's not boxing, right?
Yeah.
So I'd make like $100,000 a fight. You fight 2 or 3 times a year. You pay 20% to your manager. You pay taxes, but you're not rich.
So you get like 30 to 40% of the money.
Yeah, and I didn't consider myself rich. Like 30, 40 grand chunks, twice a year, maybe 3 times a year. Living in London, London rents, need a car. You're trying, like you're not rich in any way. And that's actually the reason I retired, because I woke up one day and I thought, I'm giving 6 hours a day of absolute focus and energy to this. And I believe I'm smart enough that if I put that much tenacity into something else, I can be a multimillionaire. I truly believed that. I was like, I've realized now I've reached the pinnacle of kickboxing. My choice is either to change over to MMA, which I was offered to do earlier in my career, but at the time the kickboxing contract paid more money. I had to pay the bills, so I went kickboxing. Change over to MMA, learn to wrestle, change over to UFC, blah, blah, blah. But this is also like 7, 8 years ago where even the UFC didn't pay the money it pays now.
But the UFC still doesn't pay that much money from what I understand.
No, if you're like top 5 or champion, yeah. But most of the dudes you're gonna see there in the prelims, they're getting 10 grand a fight, 9 grand a fight. It's nothing, right? So it'd be like starting my career all over again. And at the age of 28, I thought, I don't have the gumption to start again. I've been through hell for this. I've broken my hand 8 times. My ribs have been broken. I don't want to do this all over again. So
what do you do when you realize that, hey, maybe I don't want to keep fighting?
I decided to get rich.
What does that mean to you? When you're sitting there, you're getting, $30,000, $40,000 kind of net on a per fight basis. Is rich to you like, hey, I want a couple $100,000, $1 million, $20 million, $1 billion?
I wanted 30 or 40,000 every month.
30 or 40,000 every month, so about $500,000 a year, give or take.
I thought if I had that much money, I could do whatever I wanted.
Okay.
That's what I decided.
So what's step 1 that you do?
So step 1 is, maybe that's how we ended up here together, my friend. Step 1 is, decided to be very logical about it. Chess player, right? So it's like, I want money. What is money? How do banks work? How does credit work? What's fractional reserve banking? All these things we now know to be the biggest cons of the century, right? So I'm sitting there researching money for days and days and days. And then I get more mad because I'm like, whoa, money's trash and I don't have any. Now I'm really annoyed, right? I thought like everyone else did that, everyone puts their money in the bank and the bank takes some of other people's money and lends it out. I didn't know they invented it from the sky. I still at that point thought money was linked to gold. I didn't know nothing. So I'm learning all this stuff and I'm getting really angry. I'm like, now this is really annoying me. So anyway, I had a piece of paper there and I'm in my research phase and it start writing down some dude on YouTube. I don't know who he was, some dork. He was a pro gold guy. This is before, Bitcoin was probably around then, but like early. He was a pro gold guy saying buy gold, buy gold, buy gold. And he was saying the difference between an asset, a liability, et cetera, et cetera. So I started trying to write down what I had. I was like, I have an apartment, I have a BMW. I'm in good shape, but I already use that for fighting. What can I do? I can play chess. I'm just writing down the things I have and what I'm good at. And then I kind of realized, I was like, I've got like 8 girlfriends. But because I was traveling the world, and if you win, you get a ring girl. It's kind of like she's banging the winner, right? You win a world title, you get to choose the ring girl you want. It's pretty easy, right? So I had a girlfriend in Slovakia, I had a girlfriend in France, I had a girlfriend in England, all these girlfriends.
Do they know about each other?
No.
Because I know every motherfucker ain't gonna do what I'm gonna do. So this is how you level up. That's how you level up. I know there's a whole bunch of people with that right there. That fires me up. That makes me fucking happy, what you just said. That brings joy to my life right there.
Why?
Because I know there's so many people that have the ability and just refuse to get off that couch. Refuse to study a few more hours. Refuse to go deeper, to go further. And that's where I gain the advantage. It's so easy to be great nowadays, my friend, because most people are weak. Most people don't want to go to that extra mile. Most people don't want to find that extra because it sucks. It's miserable. It's lonely. With being the baddest motherfucker that God ever created. Am I that? I don't care. I believe it. And I was trying to tell him, once you become obsessed with something, obsessed, it's okay to be unbalanced for a while. It's okay. Don't be all this stuff people say, you got to be balanced. To be the best in the world at what you do. It's not about being a Navy SEAL, people. The best at what you do, you have to be unbalanced to find every bit of fucking energy and strength that you have to pull it off. When anything goes wrong in my family, if there's a flat tire, they don't call fucking AAA. call David fucking Goggins. My mom's got a problem, David. My mom's sick, David. Anybody, they call David. That's earned. That's a good feeling. I believe in self-discipline, self-pride, self-motivation. No one has that self anymore. That self is gone. So that driving force that tells you, I have to do this shit, I took great pride in the fact that I was nobody. My mom would tell you right now, she's right there sitting.
She is.
She knows I don't buy myself shit. I take great pride in that. I don't want shit. Because how I'm wired to, hey mom, I'm gonna get you this, and this. My girl, everybody's got everything. I don't even own a fucking car, and I'm a multi-millionaire. And I say that with pride. Because what I was here to do as a man, and men may not even want to hear this. It sounds so barbaric. That's the pride in which you have as a man, is that you see your mom, you see your girl, you see your kids, you see all this shit, you see them doing well. That's all a real man wants. They don't give a fuck about how they dress, how they look, what they're driving. They don't give a shit. Because why? Your trophies are your family, and they're all walking around. Every man that sees you, they see you walking in with some sweatpants and shit, but they know your family's fucking balling because you put the fucking time in, you put the effort in, you put the work in. And as a man, we don't want none of that shit. We just want fucking respect. The parents raise the kids very differently now. It's just something that we almost can't teach our kids anymore because the world is influencing people from all over. Once they leave your house, you got this weak family, that weak family, and that weak family saying, why is your dad like that? Why are you doing that?
TikTok has the most advanced AI in regards to deleting me. Meta are trying to do the same thing, but they're not as effective because it's actually very advanced technology. TikTok is quite impressive with how heavily they've suppressed me. And that shows how heavily they're going to suppress dissenting voices in the future. I'll be honest right now and tell everyone. TikTok started banning me. So then my team would invert the videos because my face would be inverted. And that would escape the ban for 2 weeks. It's like the Borg. You ever watch Star Trek? The Borg adapts.
Yeah.
And then they'd get rid of the inversion. And then we'd put a voice muffler on it. Then they get rid of the voice muffler. And then we'd use a cartoon version of me and they'd identify the cartoon somehow. Then static pictures of me, like you just named, they get rid of. Then my voice. TikTok are sitting there at the very cutting edge of AI specifically to get rid of me. They hate me. TikTok do. And I think the reason for that is because they were dragged into the Senate and they were attacked for hateful ideologies and dangerous ideologies. And they saw the future of their platform was contingent on getting me off of it because I'm seen as dangerous to the Democrats and the Democrats were hammering them. And they thought we had to get rid of Andrew or TikTok's going to get banned because I was everywhere. So they've literally invented brand new technology to get rid of me, which means the future for anybody else with the dissenting voice is dangerous because it starts with me and soon it's all of you who don't agree that your son should chop his dick off. It's coming for all of you.
Because people
Meta are trying the same, YouTube tried the same, but the problem with Meta and YouTube is they're failing and they're losing to TikTok right now and they need views and I have views. So they kind of let it slide. And then we have Rumble and X, which are as close as you can get to free speech on the world today, and they're doing a fantastic job at keeping the light alive.
Yeah.
I'm an underground athlete. I didn't do anything to accept these amazing awards. I did it because basically I grew up very tough life. Lived in a horrible place, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, got beat down so bad by my father that he beat the courage and strength out of me. So I had to find a way to kind of get it back. And how I did that was literally examining my soul. So in doing that, I started looking for the most uncommon people in the world. So it brought me into special operations, from the Air Force to the SEALs to Rangers. And along the way, I started realizing how powerful the mind truly is and how little we use of it. So when I was getting beat down, I thought I was nothing. I thought I was the lowest form on earth. And to develop my mindset, what I did was I started joining special operations unit, looking for these courageous men. And I found them. And when I found them, I started realizing that it's all in your head. The most important conversation is the one you have with yourself. You wake up with it, you walk around with it, you go to bed with it. Eventually, you act on it. And my conversation was a bad one.
Okay.
But they find out pretty soon. So I had all these girlfriends, so I'm like, maybe I could open a strip club and like be a pimp, and, you know, be a gangster about it. And then that opening a strip club
That's literally the first thing you thought about was to open a strip club?
Well, I thought I have these beautiful girls. How can I? This is before like Twitch existed. So I was like, what can I do with these hot girls? I was like, it's just an asset, right? There's these girls, and a lot of them were messaging me. They thought I was this millionaire world champion. They all wanted to come London, live with me, and thought I was a big boy millionaire and all this stuff. So it's like they do
because of social media.
Well, partially because of that, and also because they met me. I turn up, I fight, I win the world title, I leave. We're texting each other. They assume I'm this big boy, right? So I'm kind of like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I thought, man, I investigated strip clubs, way too much money. But this asset class of beautiful women was kind of on my mind for a few days. And then by absolute coincidence, I stumbled upon somewhere on the internet. I was on one of those websites where you used to download like free games and bullshit from. And in the corner somewhere it said, hot girls want to talk to you now or something. I said, hot girls. So I clicked on that, not because I was interested, but because I thought I have hot girls. And it was one of those webcam websites. And I was like, so these girls sit here and talk to dudes for money. So I'm gonna get my girls to sit.
And they're naked, they're just talking. How does it work?
It's 50-50. I mean, it depends on the girl, depends what she wants to do. But the majority of the job is not based around being naked. The majority of the job is based around being entertaining and being easy to talk to. And the guys who are talking to you need to find you, that you need to remember their name, remember their dog's name. You have to be smart. You can't just be a girl and be a bimbo and be naked and make money. You have to be really smart, charming, interesting, happy all the time, positive. Mm-hmm. And I thought, I'm gonna try this. So I messaged all 5 of my girlfriends, told them I had a job for them, explained to them what I was gonna do. I was gonna launch this company. 4 of them agreed, all 4 flew in, sat them around the same table. They're all like, who's she, who's she, who's she? I'm like, well, you're all my girlfriends. 2 more left. And then 2 stayed. And that was the beginning of my little attempt at a webcam empire. And I put the girls there, and my role in it all was I did all the tech side of stuff, which is the first thing, of course. And then also, and I get called a pimp a lot, but and the reason I use the term is because I don't see it as a negative term. I see it as positively inspirational and motivating person. I'd motivate the girls. I'd make sure they did their job properly. If they had a bad day online, I'd come up with a good excuse for them. Oh, it's been a football game. It's been really busy. Don't worry. You're so beautiful. Don't be upset. You did better than her. You did the best today. I keep everything organized, put the schedules together, all that kind of stuff. And
is it hard?
It's hard because women have to want to work for you. Okay. Women have to want to obey you. That's what's hard. And you don't do that. This is one of the biggest misconceptions. I really want to clear this up. People in the movies and stuff, pimps are like aggressive, mean men. Complete opposite. Pimps are more like James Bond. James Bond's a pimp. He sleeps with a girl to get information. He doesn't care about her. He is absolutely and utterly a pimp. He doesn't hit her. He makes her love him. She does what he wants. He uses sex as a weapon to reward her, and then he disappears. That James Bond is absolutely and utterly a pimp. So I say pimp because everyone calls me a pimp online, tries to go, haha, you're a pimp, they're gonna get offended. It's like, no, beautiful women wanted to work for me, and they wanted to work for me because I displayed supreme competence. And they knew if they worked for me, they'd make a lot of money. So whenever I was out, I'd meet a waitress and say, well, you're working 10 hours a day for pennies. You can work 10 hours a day for me, make 10 grand a month, or 20 grand a month. And over time, I just built up this big little empire of webcam girls. At one point, I had 4 locations, 75 girls working for me. And I was doing.
And we say locations, like, explain what goes into a location.
I just rent houses.
All right, so you rent a house, and in the house, you just literally, hey, go live here. There's like technology set up, and then you can basically just sit in front of the computer and literally be on the other end of one of these webcams, and guys are paying by the minute, by the hour, or whatever, to talk to you. It's their choice whether they are doing it fully clothed, just talking, getting naked, whatever, and then you're taking some cut of it.
Yeah, basically. So I had girls who would live in the house, and
that was pretty impressive. I just broke down the webcam business.
Bang, you done it, man. You nailed it.
No background information.
Yeah, you nailed it. You nailed it. You nailed it. So the girls who lived in the house would have set amount of hours they want to do, and then we'd have rooms that they could book in and do X amount of hours. A girl could come and do 1 a week or whatever. We'd have rooms they could share. And then, very much exactly like you said. They'd go online, they'd do their hours, they'd have their regular customers, they'd get their money. And then I'd take around half of the money, around 50%.
You take 50%.
Around 50%.
Okay. Is that high or low compared to the rest of the industry?
I'll tell you why it's very low. It's low because every time a girl would quit and try and do it by herself, she'd make a fraction of the money overall because she hasn't got the instruction, she hasn't got the motivation, she's just lazy with it, right? And women have a very different mentality to money than men. If you show a woman how to make $1,000 in an hour, she'll think, I only have to work an hour a week. Whereas if you show a man how to make $1,000 an hour, he thinks, I can make $18,000 a day. That's the difference between us. So if I had a girl working for me making 20,000, she got 10, I got 10. If she quit, she'd make 3 for herself, if that.
When you put these restrictions up, and that's why my first question is, how bad do you want this? If it's as bad as you want to live or breathe or sleep, whatever the hell it may be, I can work with you. But a lot of people, most people don't want it that badly, which is why they always ask the question, man, how did you get to where you are? You know how to do it. You know exactly how to be you or how to be me. You don't want to do it. So I can't make you do it, nor do I have the time or energy to force you into that place that I know you have to be to do it. There's no luck in this game, man. It may be a little bit of luck, but the luck happens after you bust your ass and you put yourself in that lucky situation. Luck doesn't happen. You put yourself in that situation where luck might fucking happen. And that's what people don't know. But to get there, luck ain't gonna happen. You have to put yourself in that situation, man. It takes a lot of work. But the biggest key to success in anything you do is you gotta have an unlimited supply of fucking fuck you. This drive and passion, and it may come from nothing. Like for me, there was no passion, no drive, no nothing. But I had this fire that I'm gonna be somebody. And it has to be there because on all those bad days and all those days you don't wanna do shit, you have to be your own motivator, your own coach, your own trainer, your own everything. So to do that, you have to come into work, and work is whatever your work may be, ready to go. And what that means is you may have failed miserably yesterday, but you come to work like, people like, man, you just lost everything. How the hell are you this fucking damn motivated? Because this is what it takes. This is what the fuck it takes. And you got to get it from wherever you can. Whether you make up this illusion of your life or this false reality that gets you motivated, whatever gets you motivated, it's got to be here at the tip of your brain at all. They think it's a permanent fix. They think it's something that is a constant. They think that maybe once I get it, I'm going to hold on to it. And that's the thing about that I was telling you, that I always talk about. Nothing is permanent. Nothing is permanent. And a lot of times you have to learn to perform without motivation. You have to learn to perform without purpose. You have to learn to perform a lot of different things. And that's what people think. They think I need to have this motivation to work out, to study, to be better. So if they don't have it, they just don't fucking do it. And that's where you fail. You have to learn to train your mind well beyond motivation. If you have motivation, that's great. That's some kindling to the fire. All it takes is a little bit of fucking spark and you can burn the whole forest up. But motivation, you have to learn to exist without it. You have to be your best self when you're least motivated. And that's the tricky part about all that shit. Motivation is just a word. You have to have these different things in your mind on where you want to go and know that motivation is not going to get me there. Because I'm not going to always be motivated.
Jocko said the exact same thing. He said that discipline eats motivation for breakfast.
And discipline is good too. But without a clear headspace, there's no discipline.
What do you mean?
So let's say we have a circuit breaker, okay? And I'm loading everything up to one fucking circuit. Just load it up. It's going to fucking blow. And once that thing blows, man, the circuit's all fucked up. You got to have each thing plugged into the right spot, like a fucking crowded garage. You can't put anything in it. Once your brain is crowded, discipline is great. Motivation is great. But if you can't fit shit in your brain because it's all fucking cluttered with shit, there's no discipline. You may have it sometimes when it fits in that crowded garage of your mind, but you don't have the consistency that you need to have with that discipline.
It's full clown world slave mind. And I mean, look, the programming, like, I curate my reality very, very carefully. Like, I don't even really read my own YouTube comments. I don't really, because it's just bullshit. Like,
Would you? It's terrible.
Yeah, I really have an existence where I only talk to the people in my network, the people I do business with, my brother. I live in a country which is sensible. I really am not around much of this, but I accidentally pick up bits of it. But I really try and curate my reality very, very carefully, because it's actually one of the things that's amazing to me. I said this the other day. Everybody understands that you're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Everybody understands that.
Dan Pena.
Everybody understands that. But they understand that and still hang around with fucking losers.
True.
It's like, is that not the ultimate mark of being a dumbass? If you understand that that's the truth and you don't curate your friendship and curate your reality,
Yes.
then you're a loser. I had a guy join the War Room the other day, my private network, and he joined, and we have multi-millions in there, multi-millionaires in there, we have a billionaire in there. I bought a Bugatti purely to add Bugatti owners to my network, so we have Bugatti owners in there. We have guys connected to the point where I can't even say he on YouTube, right? A guy joined, he's 19, he ain't nothing. He goes, look, I know I don't have any value to give, but I'm just here to learn. I understand that if I stand a chance of escaping the Matrix, you're the man here. And I was like, you're absolutely intelligent. Instead of spending 19 sitting around playing video games, that's the smartest thing you could have ever done.
Sure.
His life's going to change forever, right? Because he's around people who understand. So all the people out here who sit there and go, yeah, you're the sum of the 5 people you hang around with the most, yeah, and then go hang around with dickheads. You're an idiot.
But most people are like that.
Yeah, because they're idiots, right? You have to create your reality, and there's nothing wrong with saying to people, you know what, I've outgrown you. You know what, I'm on a different path to you. You know what, X, Y, Z. Sometimes you got to cut people off, because if you don't create your reality, they infect your energy.
That is a big one, man.
They'll infect your energy.
It's like, it's negativity. It's
Yep.
being around it. I remember cutting off like a really good friend for a good period because of that negative draw. You know?
100%.
Yeah.
Because as much as I don't want to sound airy-fairy, I have noticed, I have a saying, and it's not a very remarkable saying, but I use it all the time, and that's dumb shit leads to dumb shit. And I say that for an example, like let's say you leave your car unlocked. You're unprofessional, you leave your car unlocked. Now it gets stolen. Now there's a police case. Now, dumb shit leads to dumb shit. So when I'm around people who do dumb shit or unprofessional things, or they're not smooth, or they don't get their shit right, or they're negative, I refuse, because it comes true.
Yeah.
It's like you make it true. If I hang around with your stupid ass long enough, all the stupid shit you're talking about is going to happen to me.
Yeah.
So it's like you speak it into existence.
Yes.
So I refuse to be around it. Dumb shit leads to dumb shit. Everyone I talk to is such a fucking winner that when I sit around, all I can do is accidentally win.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, bam, more money. Like all you can do is win when you're around winners.
It's true.
This is all you can do. So you have to be very, very selective, and you have to very, very carefully curate your reality. And that's why I created the War Room, because it's a global network, but you have to be global and you have to be online nowadays, because if you're a normal dude living a normal life, you're never going to meet winners in day-to-day life.
Yeah.
Because they're all slaves.
Yeah.
So you have to find that guy in Singapore who's a winner, those 2 guys in Dubai who's a winner, 1 in London. Like, it's hard now.
Yeah.
It's getting harder and harder. But yeah, I don't tolerate negativity around me. I refuse to tolerate it.
Right. And I'll tell you this, I started really realizing that when I started overcoming myself, I started getting around these real alpha males.
You need to affirm to the universe, gentlemen. You need to wake up every day and you need to talk to the universe as if it was Alexa or Siri, and you need to say, I want to see how good life can get. I've been saying this all the time, and I thought that my life was already perfect 2 or 3 years ago, and still it keeps getting better.
Oh, yeah.
My life keeps getting better. Now, life isn't a straight line, right? I didn't get to the top in a straight line. I had bumps, bruises, I had setbacks. Yeah, I got cut up, I got stabbed, I had a lot of problems. But here I am at the top. Life's not a straight line. But every single day I say, I want to see how good life can get. And God keeps providing. He keeps making me richer. I retain my wealth. I retain my health. I make better friends. I have amazing relationships. I have love in my life. Everything goes well for me all of the time. I can't explain in human words how fantastic my life is. I wouldn't change a thing. I can't catch depression. It's never happened, never fucking will. And I stand by that. Another thing that's really important, I say this all the time, nearly every word that comes out of my mouth is self-hypnosis. Every word that comes out of my mouth is self-hypnosis. And it's the same for everybody watching this. Every single word you speak is self-hypnosis. Every single thing you say out of your own mouth is almost more important than the things you hear from other people.
Amen.
You can't be sitting there saying, I'm depressed. I got a generational curse. I'm unlucky, bro. You can't be saying these things because you're reaffirming them within your mind. I don't do that. And as many people are going to sit there and say, Tate, you're delusional, you're a narcissist. You go through the world saying you're super lucky and that you're bulletproof and you can do all these crazy things. It's impossible for you to be depressed. You're a narcissist. Perhaps. Look at my life and look at yours.
Yep.
So let's talk about it let's look at it in pure metrics. Who came from a worse scenario at the start? Who had a worse background? Me. Who's now more successful? Me. Who's happier? Me. Who smiles more? Me. Who sleeps easy at night? Me. Why the fuck would I want to think like you? If thinking this way makes me a bad person, but I get fucking fantastic results from my entire life, and everybody close to me gets fantastic results from knowing me, and everybody close to me absolutely adores me, why would I want to adopt your thinking and be a sad fucking sack of shit sitting on the internet trying to cancel people like a dork? I don't want to be my enemies. There's not a single enemy I have that I'm remotely envious of in any regard. Every single one of them has a shit life and a shit existence. I already won. God's already punished them. God's already rewarded me. I know these things. I'm the luckiest man on the planet. You have to say these things and you have to truly believe them.
And that's how I start looking
for us as a tool to shape the world. And I think that's what a lot of people also don't understand about being rich. You don't want to be rich. You want to be powerful. That's what really is going to satisfy you in your soul. It's the power. It's not the I can afford this, that. That's nice for a while. But really what makes you happy is there's 60 of these Bugattis on earth. Everyone wants one. Who gets one? I do. Because you can't have one. That's the fun of it, right? So it's power you're truly chasing. And if you want to be powerful, you can't be scared to invest money and spend money. A lot of people at home, if they want to make more money, need to invest in themselves. Yeah. They invest in themselves. And maybe they've been taught, well, if I just save. Let me say to everyone here at home, if you are saving less than 10 grand a month and you're just saving, your chance of being rich is fucking zero. You need to go and do something else and make more. Invest in yourself. Get knowledge, pay attention to mentors, start another business, open something. You need to do something because you're not going to save your way to the top. The average person at home, you're not earning enough to ever save. If you never save 100% of your wage, you're still going to be broke. You have to get to a level of earning.
Well, the thing about it is funny, man. All these catchphrases people always say, failure is a part of life. Failure is how you grow. I've said all that stuff before, but it really is a bunch of shit. It really is, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm so tired.
Yeah, don't hold back on it.
I'm so tired of hearing all these fucking cliche fucking, like goal setting fucking posters and all that shit. Half the people who write that shit aren't even doing the shit they're talking about. Half the people talk about failure, they're fucking millionaires sitting back in some nice house and what the fuck they're talking about. So it makes me fucking nuts. The reason why I believe I can talk about failure, because I'm still feeling today, and I'm feeling in a major way, and I'm living with it talking. So many people who talk about all this shit, they're has-beens. The people who used to do back in the day, now talk about it. Are you living it today? So for me, failure is something that you should be afraid of. It should be afraid of. But that's why you should go out there and challenge yourself to fail.
When I found out about I just learned about how they print money. I literally could not believe it.
Money's not real.
For 3 days, I'm sitting around, so I'm like, what the fuck is this? So they could just print this shit?
Money is not real. It's not real. They just print it. It's not real.
Fair. Please continue.
Yeah, so money's not real. And I say that to people.
So it's not about money.
No, it's not about money. So what's it about? It's about power and control. Yeah. So I've been from the absolute bottom to the absolute top. I've seen it all. And once you get past a certain level of wealth, once you get past a certain level of money, but then you understand what money is, right? So we say about money not being real. Money is not real from a governmental perspective because they just print it. It's nothing. But money is truthfully the stored time and energy of other people. If you have money, you have stored time and energy of other humans.
Because people are hourly rates.
That's right. Because I can take that money and make someone else use their time and energy for X thing. So let's look at even American slavery, the slavery that most Americans understand. You're going to work for me. I'm going to give you a house and I'm going to give you food. And you're going to stay here and you're going to work. Slavery is abolished. So now what do? You're going to work for me. I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you some money. And that money is enough to only buy you a house and some food. We've just put money in the middle. Now, if I can make you do whatever I want for money, and I can print as much money as I want, you're my slave. Because I can print it from the sky and you need it to live. So you are my slave. Money's not real. So I have all of this money. I have the stored time and energy of other humans. And once you get past a certain level of wealth, you understand, which ties back to COVID, that you're not interested in money. What you're interested in is people. It's always been about having good people around you. You want a beautiful, doting, loving woman who's obsessed with you. You want good brothers who will stand by you and make you motivated. You want bodyguards who are going to protect you. You want people. And then you want to look at it further down the rabbit hole. You want to get more sinister. If you've been born into a lineage or a dynasty or the people who control the world, you want people, you want robot people. You don't want to be spoken to disrespectfully. In your empire, in your podcast empire, right? You now have a podcast. Would you allow a member of staff to come along and say, this is bullshit, I don't like how you do this, is shit, you're shit? Or would you fire him?
I don't know if I would fire them. I would first try to teach them how to behave.
And if they didn't listen,
they're out.
Absolutely. So let's imagine you ran a country.
Okay.
All right. Let's imagine you ran the world.
That we need.
So I say this to people. I say, for the next 2 weeks, every time you spend money, even if it's £1, write down how they got it from you. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, all right, cool. You're walking down the street. You're going to Starbucks. You buy a coffee. Why did they take your money? Well, I wanted coffee. Yeah, but how? Okay, you wanted coffee, right? Cool. Did you only want a coffee because you saw Starbucks, or did you want a coffee beforehand? Why did you want their coffee and not another coffee? Did you buy a cake as well? Why did you buy a cake? All right, cool. So now you identified how they took your money. Then realize how they could have took more of your money. You bought a cake, but you didn't buy a sandwich. Why? The sandwiches weren't on display, or they looked cold, or they looked rubbish, or the woman who was serving me was old and ugly. Maybe she was a young cutie and talked to me about bologna sandwiches or bought one. Right? So you need to start identifying how your money is taken from you. Because once you identify how your money is taken from you, you can start to actually intelligently think about how you can take money from other people.
I find it amazing when people say they don't have motivation. I have people come to me and say, I want to get rich. I don't have motivation. I want to work harder. I said, how can you not have motivation to get rich when somebody like me with a head start like mine is still working 18-hour days every single day, 7 days a week without having a day off? I'm going to crush you. You don't stand a chance. I will beat you. And you're just going to sit there and perpetually lose because you can't find the motivation to crawl up out the mud and stay a bug until you end up in your 15-minute city getting your 17th injection like a dummy, like a useless eater. All I do is work. Nothing is fun. I don't have fun. I don't even understand
sports.
I don't understand the concept of fun. The only sport I ever did was beating the shit out of people. Is that fun?
Our minds are like a fucking garage. And the garage, if you open a garage and it's all cluttered up, it's all fucked up, you can't put your car in there. You got fucking boats and you got fucking kids' toys and shit everywhere. But if you organize that fucking garage and you put everything in its rightful spot, you can put that car in there. You can put 2 cars in there. You can put bikes in there. And that's like with the mind. People talk about discipline and fucking determination and fucking, repetitions and all this shit. Consistency. Why people fall off the wagon so often is because their mind is full of shit. There's no room in that mind for discipline. There's no room for consistency. They may do it once or twice, but then the mind takes over and that cluttered fucking garage comes in. And then it's like a circuit breaker, man. A circuit breaker just overloads and fucking sparks. And our minds, that's our mind, man. It's like a fucking circuit breaker that has so much shit in it, you keep unloading it, you can't put any more into it. Clearing space in your fucking mind so that you have room for all those discipline, waking up early, taking those, because they do mean something. But we don't get to that fucking dark matter that is keeping you from clearing out that mental garage. Who never picked me up? Who never picked me up when I fell? She taught me how to get up when I was knocked down. I thank my uncle for always being there for me. And I thank all of you out here who fought in these wars. You have no idea how big of a deal this is to me. I was not always this strong guy you see. I went through a lot of hard times in my life to get here today. And a story I'll tell you with real quick. I tried once to get in the Air Force to be an Air Force pararescueman. And I quit for fear of the water. I was 175 pounds. I left the Air Force 4 years later at 300 pounds. I went from 175 to 300 pounds. There's a long story in there on how that came to be. But I sat around and read a book on the Medal of Honor. And those guys, all I wanted to be was an uncommon man. And my whole life, I was not that. Much worse than that. But I read stories about men like you, Doc, who had the courage to jump on grenades and stuff like that. So I came home one day from working at a job called Ecolab where I sprayed for cockroaches. Made $1,000 a month, weighing 300 pounds. And I got home and I watched a show on Discovery Channel of guys carrying boats and logs, Navy SEAL training. And I decided to make a change in my life. And I called the recruiter up and he asked me these questions. He had to meet a certain age, like a certain height and weight limit. I was 6'1" and 300 pounds. He laughed at me. 7 other recruiters laughed at me. One recruiter finally said, "Come on in, I'm too busy to talk to you on the phone." He didn't know how much I weighed. I walked in the recruiter's office and he looked at me and he said, "You're fat and you're black." I said I want to be a Navy SEAL. I didn't know there had only been 35 African-American Navy SEALs at that time in over 70 years. He said I basically had to lose 106 pounds in less than 3 months because of my age. I was getting too old. I came back 3 months later, 106 pounds lighter. Thank you.
Just even being around people with money, it's just a good place to be. I'll give you an example. I was in Romania and I have the largest car collection probably in Romania. I have 28 supercars, everything you can name. And I went to a town called Cluj-Napoca. It's on the border of Hungary. And I drove there in my Chiron and I parked up and a kid came up and he said, "Hey, can I take some photos of your car? I have a car spotting page." I was like, "Yeah, whatever, cool." And he goes, "Yeah, okay, I'll just be a few minutes to this." So he took a bunch of photos and he come up to me and goes, "Hey, do you want the photos?" And I was like, "Not really, I've already have photos." And he goes, "Oh yeah, okay. Well, if you want them, here's my email address." And I said to him, "Why do you do this? Like, you spend all day standing around taking photos of other people's cars. Is that not a waste of time?" I thought it was a waste of time, but I was wrong. He goes, "Oh, well, I skipped school and I skipped college because I knew if I take pictures of expensive cars and email them to people, I'll have email addresses of the richest people in Romania."
Yeah, smart.
I was like, "You're clever." I ended up hiring him. He works for me now.
Yeah.
I was like, I like you. He got himself a full-time job that day. So he understood, be near the money. I have no money. Money's over there. Well, let me get closer to it. Like, no point staying over here on my fucking own. Let me at least get closer to it. That was a 17-year-old kid. Now he's making 10 grand a month in Romania from me. So like, at least being closer to it. So that you're right. People should, even if they haven't got a penny in the world, should be going to these meetings about real estate, about investing, that especially if it's cheap, they should go. Just meet other people who at least have money. Have conversations about money. Talk about it. How are you going to get what you don't talk about?
I love what you talk.
So what's your fucking excuse? Is it too cold where you live? Is it too hot where you live? Does it rain too fucking much? Now it's time for some real fucking talk. Maybe you're the only black person applying for a fucking job. Maybe you're the only female. Maybe you're the only fucking gay person. Job, whatever the fuck it may be. Maybe that shit's in your fucking head. Maybe that's your excuse for not being better. Life's a real big fucking picture. When I was young, all those things got in my head. Black, fucking not smart enough, single mom, all that bullshit owns space in my head. If you're allowing people and things and situations to own space in your fucking head, you're losing. Last thing, life's one big fucking head game. You play with yourself. If you lose, it's because you allow life to get in your fucking head. Stay hard.
I wake up every day and I think, how do I make my life better? Nobody else wakes up each day and goes, how do I make Andrew Tate's life better? So if you're not the person who's waking up every day going, how do I improve my existence? Then nobody is. Nobody on the planet is considering improving your one spin on Earth.
No one else cares.
Nobody else cares. So if you don't care, then you're fucked. So you need to wake up and care. And it's amazing to me, like you're saying, how did I find my mentors? I just tried a bunch of them. Like when I had no money, I would try very hard I'd listen to lots of different people, or I'd try different things. And I wasn't scared to invest in myself because I understand that, look, if he's taking time out of his life, then I need to reward him for it financially. And I tried very hard and I listened and I paid attention and I was never lazy. I don't believe there's a person on the planet who pays attention, tries their best, is never lazy, is on time, works hard, has a mentor, and is giving it his all, who isn't rich. I don't believe it. I think that if you do all those things, you're rich. And if you don't have any money, you're missing one of those key elements. Now you can fool yourself and you can fool everyone else and you can pretend you're doing them, but if you're truly honest with yourself, am I finding people who are trying to teach me what I want to know, and am I trying my best? And the answer is fucking no every time.
People want to know how to get permanent, lasting results. This shit's not easy. Some folks go from heavy to losing weight, back to heavy again. Some folks go from lazy to studs, back to lazy. The list goes on and on and on. A lot of folks take the 4-lane highway to get their results. The 4-lane highway is just that. It's the easy route. On that highway, they have road signs. 5 miles up, hotel. 10 miles up, restaurant. restrooms, all that shit. It's the easy roadmap to success. Nothing there's permanent. But the other choice that makes permanent is the shovel. That fucking shovel leaves you with calluses on your brain, on your hands. They're permanent. Pick up the shovel, stay hard. A lot of you are trying to find inspiration and motivation with a depressed mindset. You're depressed because you're not doing shit with yourself. You don't find inspiration by not living in the grip of life. You need to live in the grip of life to find inspiration. Put challenges in front of yourself. When you put a challenge in front of yourself and you attack it, that's when you find inspiration. Try to be 10% better than you were last week. So if you're running 30 miles a week, run 33. If you're swimming 500 meters, swim 550. And some of you aren't doing shit, your 10% is just getting off the fucking couch. The more you walk away from accountability, the weaker you become. Find yourself in the grip of life. You can't find yourself by doing nothing.
I look at them and go, yes.
I think a lot of the problem with people, especially in the world today, is they misunderstand the difference between a dream and a plan. And nothing good in your life is ever going to happen by accident. If you see a guy in fantastic shape, you don't say, how'd you get in great shape? And he goes,
it just happened.
Oops, I just fell. No, he ate a specific way. He trained a specific time. He did specific things for a specific outcome. And it's the same with finances. And most people who are broke, if you say, do you want to be rich? Yeah, I want to be rich. How are you going to get rich? One day,
I'll win the lottery.
Yeah, dumb shit. You have no plan. You have no plan whatsoever. No actionable steps. No, you're not doing things daily. You're just hoping some point in the future, God's going to just dump it on your doorstep. Guess what? It ain't going to fucking happen. And unless you have a plan, a specific plan, I'm sure you guys had you had a plan and you worked hard to get to your points. I had a plan. Everything was like, okay, today we have to do day after day after day until you get there. And this is what most people don't have because they're too arrogant or too lazy. I don't think it's stupid. I think most people, if you laid out a plan and they tried their very best and they were willing to learn, could do it. I don't think people are too stupid to make money. They're just too lazy or too arrogant to make money. That's the problem with people.
What the hell were you all waiting for to start attacking life? You waiting for the fucking stars to align? Back when I was growing up, the song came out. All I need is a miracle. Well, guess what? That miracle ain't coming. There is no perfect time to start. You gotta start now with changing your life. We're all being tested in life. And guess what? This is one test you can't cheat on. We all have our own test. Some of us are obese. Some of us are depressed. Some of us are insecure. In the military, we had this big old rucksack on the back. Had batteries, water, extra gear. Your extra gear is the shit you're dealing with in life. And the only way to overcome it is for you and you alone to face it. You have to do your best work when you're the least motivated. So those days you don't want to do it, guess what you gotta do? You gotta suck it the fuck up and do it. Stay hard.
A lot of people are obsessed with the idea of happiness. And especially as a man, I think that happiness can actually be a very destructive motivator. And when men sit and say, I want to be happy, I want to feel happy. To feel happy, a lot of the time, you're looking for temporary hedonism. To be happy, you want to get drunk or take drugs or do something stupid temporarily, and it's very short-lived. I think you should instead be looking as a man to say, I want to feel proud. If you choose pride over happiness, you're going to make decisions that you're proud of and that people around you are proud of, and it's going to be better for yourself and better for society and better for everyone who loves you, everyone you care about. If you're the kind of person who searches for happiness, whether male or female, in my experience, people who search for happiness end up doing hedonistic, temporary, stupid things. When I find men who search to feel proud of themselves, I want people to be proud of me, and I want to be proud of myself, and I want to be respected. They often delay happiness. They often go through very difficult things and build things which are beautiful or build things which are difficult to do. They often go to the other side of fear to feel that pride. I did it. I faced my fear. I did it.
Yeah.
So I think as a man, searching for pride or searching to feel proud is a pretty positive mindset for masculine achievement.
The reason I'm the luckiest man on earth is because God has given me endless building blocks to build a superhero. He's given me endless power. He's given me endless motivation. What did we say?
Yeah.
He's given me I have endless sources of power. I can sit here right now and recall events that will prevent me from sleeping for 2 to 3 days. That gives me a superpower that other men do not have. They want to go to sleep. They're tired. I can stop being tired for days at a time. I can just have a thought. I can remember, I can sit, close my eyes, and use the power of my brain to vividly remember events, and I will not sleep for days. And when people come to me and say, oh, this happened, I'm really sad, or my heart broke, or this bad thing happened to me, I say, good. Thank the Lord that he's given you this endless source of motivation. You're wasting it. Yeah. That's your problem. But it's been given to you. Nitrous oxide has been given to you. You just have to use it in the correct way. So I'm the luckiest man in the world because all the bad things that happened to me have given me all the building blocks to become the most fantastic man on the face of the planet.
Life is meaningful.
You have the advantage of everybody else.
Stand up straight with your shoulders back.
My God.
There's a vulnerable position, right? Because you're open.
No, man. Your struggle is what made you who you are now.
It's dangerous. But your best bet is to be dancing on your feet and ready for it. Pay attention and be awake.
You don't see that if you look off to the fucking left of the muck, there's a sidewalk, brother. Get off of it. You have your...
It's more like you should understand how much potential there is within you to set that straight.
You got married 3 times.
And that's better than self-esteem.
For a total of 6 months.
So I'm telling young people, look, no matter how bad your situation is, I'm not going to pretend it's okay. It's not okay.
You can't live with hate. You cannot move forward.
But there's more to you than you think.
I always fix the things on the surface.
And that's the principle upon which you should predicate your behavior.
What is making you a quitter? What is making you a weak man? What is making you afraid?
This isn't just guesswork. Let's see if we can have a conversation that will make things better.
We can't quit. We got to figure out why you are this pussy. Why are you this pussy, man?
Okay, so we know that. Other thing we know is that, well, let's say there's a bunch of things that you're afraid of that are in your way.
What is wrong with you? What's going on here?
If you speak the truth and you expose yourself courageously to those things that you're afraid of, that your life will improve, and so will the life of people around you.
And I just beat it harder. And I beat it harder. Before I knew it, I started realizing, all right, man.
It's a dragon. It might eat you. It's dangerous.
The brain is starting to get hard. The brain is starting to get hard.
But it's worse to cower at home and wait for it to come and devour you. Go out there, confront it, get the gold.
I'm no longer a theorist. I'm now a practitioner.
Share it with the community.
You must put it in the fucking freezer and freeze the fuck out of it.
Yeah, it's the oldest story of mankind.
Open the door. And he said, nah, 5 more seconds, man.
What makes you think that you're someone we should listen to?
I want you to go there with me. I'm taking you there with me.
Well, it's painful.
I'm a storyteller. I want to take your ass down paradise.
How much of what you're doing isn't productive? So I'll give you an example. So I've done this a couple of times with classrooms full of students.
I want you to go there with me. You want to learn from me? Let me take your ass home.
How much time do you waste?
Let me take you there.
6 hours a day. Means if you keep pushing this, something that you do not like will happen to you.
People go, man, why don't you ever smile? There's no fucking end, my friend.
You don't have any strength of character. You can't do that if you can be pushed around. You'll just get argued into 45 minutes a day. Let's call that 5 hours, 20 hours a week. 240 hours in a year. You're spending a month and a half of work weeks fighting with.
It's very barbarian. It's how we all think. It's how man once walked the earth.
Thank you. Always. 12 rules for life, an antidote to chaos. Jordan Peterson, it's been an honor.
It's your fault.
It's been an honor. I appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
You bet.
I don't ever sit and concern myself with, am I spending too much? If I thought I was spending too much, I would simply find a way to make more money. And a lot of people talk about efficiency as well. I've had people talk about working smart, not hard. That is true. But I believe that you need to fill your day with all of the hard work first. I think that working smart is a matter of being more efficient with all the time you should spend working. If you sit there and go, I want to work smart, not hard, so I work an hour a day, well, then you're still lazy. You should work smart and hard and do 15 smart hours a day. That's how you win.
I was talking to a young guy the other day, and he was 22, I think, and he caught a crypto pump. He made like $4 million in the last bull run. And now all the coins have gone down, whatever. He sold some. He has like $1.5 million. He's like, oh yeah, so I'm waiting for the next pump. I was like, bro, the problem with you is you've now been ruined for life because you're 22, you made easy money, and you think that you don't have to ever do any serious work. You also have no skill. The problem is with the crypto pump, it doesn't teach you anything. He didn't learn sales, marketing, staff management, stress tolerance.
You need that.
Nothing. He doesn't know how to do anything.
Yeah.
So he's just sitting there just gambling on shit coins, waiting for the next one to pump. And he's 22, and his ass is never going to want to get a real job, and he doesn't have any skills. So I think he's in a lot of trouble, truthfully. And I made this clear to him. So it can be a detrimental thing. It can be a bad thing. But in terms of making money, it's certainly easier than it's ever been because we live in a global marketplace now. You can reach the world, and all you have to do is have a message worth making people.
And it truly is the abundance mindset is true. I remember when I was broke. When I was broke, I thought everyone was broke.
You do.
Because I was broke.
100%.
And then you get rich and you start thinking, shit, everyone has money. Every supercar I want is sold out. Every diamond watch I want is sold out. The private jet charters are full. The yachts are full. Like, as soon as you get rich, you start
Who are all these people that got money? Who are they?
I was just in Dubai. And my houses are being built. They're going to be completed this year. I bought a bunch of them off plan. So I decided to rent. And I rented a house on the Palm. And it was $25,000 a day, dollars. And I rented it. And I'm sitting there. And the landlord comes and goes, I just got an offer for $35,000 a day. You need to leave. And I go, okay, well, I'll pay $40,000 a day. And then he came back and goes, the guy's offered $50,000 a day for a year. And I'm like, who am I even in a bidding war with? And I just left. I was like, you know what? Take it. I'll get another one. But like, there's people out there with money like you couldn't fucking fathom. There is so much money in the world. So you do get to a level of wealth. Another time it hit me, I was at Monaco. I was sitting around dinner in Monaco after, it was on a car rally, funnily enough. And there's like 10 of us. And I just looked around the table by coincidence and I saw everyone's wearing a nice watch. And I thought, when I was broke, the idea, if someone told me they had 30 or 40 grand in the bank, I thought they were doing good. Now I'm sitting at a table, everyone's wearing a $100,000 watch. Nobody gives a fuck. It's just like, there's levels to the game. And when you get up to the top, you realize there's money everywhere. The abundance mindset, there are so many rich people. So if you're not where you want to be financially, I hope this pisses you off, because I'm telling you to annoy you, that you're sitting there struggling to pay your bills. There are people out there making so much money you couldn't possibly fathom, who have anything they want all of the time. And you may sit there and go, oh, but they're miserable. A lot of them aren't. Trust me, they're having a great time. So you need to make a bunch more money because there's money everywhere.
Think of the harshest lesson. You don't even have to say what it is, but think of the harshest lesson you've had in the last few years. And think of how many times you had the easy way to learn that lesson. You could have just stopped being a dickhead before it got bad. Think how many times you could have just woke up and go, nah. But we don't, do we? We wake up like, we got away with it. It's fine. And then bam, you get hit. There's only two ways to learn lessons, hard and harder. If you're smart, you take it the hard way. Real idiots take it the hardest way. But there's no easy way to learn lessons.
But why don't you stop the work and take a step back?
I don't want to. I don't want to.
No.
And that's my competitive advantage. I don't want to do that.
The enjoyment for you is the work, not the...
Completely. Other people are like, oh, I'm here now, so I can now go on holiday. I don't want to stop working. I don't want a holiday. I don't want to relax. Is this relaxing? I'm going to try and relax for the first time in my life. We'll do this here live on the podcast. Ready?
Yeah.
Ready? Am I supposed to want to do that? what was that? What was it? Like, what is that? Is that it? Is that the dream?
Doing nothing.
Is that the goal? Like, and if I'm not on my phone, my brain is preoccupied and anxious about what's happening on my phone. So it's better to just be on it. Like, I don't want to relax. I don't want to stop.
Ain't no rest for the wicked.
No, I don't want to stop. That's why nobody will ever beat me, because all these other people, they want to take time out of their life.
They're working to relax.
They're working to relax. I'm at the point now where I'd look at a beautiful woman and go, I can go on a date with her and she's absolutely gorgeous and perhaps we'll fall in love and it'll be great. But you know what? I'd rather work. I don't want to be off my phone.
Yeah.
I don't want to date girls. I just want to conquer the earth. I don't care about anything else.
I know I've only reached 10% of what I can actually do.
Let's go, bro.
And that bothers me. And no matter how much money I'm making or how most Googled man alive, whatever, I can still identify the inefficiencies in my systems. I can still identify where more money could have been made. And money isn't that important, but like we said, money is a very simple way to measure success because it's numbers. Numbers are easy.
Yeah.
This number, that number. It's easy. What does a company do when it wants to measure the success of a company? It looks at the numbers. What does a YouTube channel do? It looks at the numbers. Numbers are easy. So if you're going to say, how do I be successful in life? Money's not everything, but it's a nice, easy way to measure because it's numbers. And then when you understand it's the time and energy of other people, you sit and go, okay, well, I have this large empire now, and I have all these people who work for me, and all these people I love, and all these people I care about, and all these children, and all this going on, and the world is getting more and more messed up, and everything's on a decline and everything's being destroyed, and a certain number of people are going to become useless eaters and going to be eradicated, and they're going to try and lock us all in our 15-minute cities for the climate or some garbage that's coming in no time. How do I combat and fight all of this and protect all the people I care about? Well, I need the time and energy of others. I need an army, so I need money. So you start waking up saying, okay, 1 billion is shit, Tristan. And he's like, Andrew, we're from a single mother household and our company got valued at $1.2 billion and you own 100% of it. No, we need at least 10. And then then I get mad. And my stress comes from the fact that I don't have enough.
And I said, bro, you see that? And he goes, yeah, what about it? I said, doesn't that piss you off? I must be about 16. He goes, why? So this dude has 400 G's for a car, 400 grand. I'm walking 4 miles to college because my mom hasn't got any car. He has 400 grand. Do you think he works a job? Do you think he's fucking behind a counter somewhere? He knows something about the world that I don't know.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, he's rich. I'm like, yeah, I know. I didn't say he wasn't rich, dummy. I'm saying he knows something about the world I don't know. And I was intrigued and it angered me. I couldn't sleep for weeks. I was pissed off. Every time I saw somebody with genuine money, I understood that everything I was being told and taught and they were trying to make me believe just simply wasn't true. I was like, this is bullshit. None of these people are getting these things by following the path that the system is trying to make me follow. Yeah. Nobody, and everybody intrinsically knows this. If you go to if you're at a BP, you're at a petrol station, and I pull up in my Lamborghini, nobody goes, wow, he went to school. Yeah. He studied hard. Right. Do they fuck? They're like drug dealer, gangster. And they do that because they know that the easiest way to amass wealth is to break the rules, because the rules are not designed to allow most people to make money. You can make money within the rules, of course you can, but most people don't. Most people who follow the path, work, consume, die. That's it.
Yeah.
So I always knew the same thing as you, and I knew there had to be another way. I knew that just working for money was a paradigm that wasn't true. And then you understand making your money work for you, and you understand delinking your time from money. Yeah. You start learning to understand these things, but eventually you build a system and you build an ecosystem like me. I have 60 or 70 people work for me all around the world. And things just happen and money just kind of appears as long as everything's well organized.
Do you think, and life really doesn't have to be that complicated. When you see somebody that has something you want, you just got to try and work out how they got it.
Yeah.
And that's the missing part. Most people see people with things they want and they don't do the second half. They don't try and work out how they got that thing. Oh, my man has a Ferrari. Okay. I wish I had a Ferrari. Okay. They don't sit there and go for an hour. How did he get a Ferrari? It doesn't cross that part is the part they don't want to do, right? They just go, oh, he has a Ferrari, wish I had a Ferrari, and they go back to TV.
Yeah.
And that's why they lose. If you don't want to buy a jet and you don't want to buy a yacht, you're never going to need more than $20 million, really, because there's nothing to buy.
And you can rent the yachts and the jets.
You can charter yachts, you can charter jets, which is probably smarter anyway. I had a jet, I owned one for a few months, and I sold it. And the reason I'll never buy a jet again.
They can track it.
All these on Twitter are tracking them.
That's
Top G's jet. I'm not having it tracked.
Bernard Arnault, the LVMH guy, he just sold it. No.
Because I don't want everyone knowing where I am all the time. Yeah. You can buy a nice house in most places on the planet. You can buy 2 or 3 cars. You can buy some diamond watches. You can buy some nice clothes. And that's all there is to buy. What's actually kind of amazing to me is when I was poor, I thought if I got rich, I'd buy all this stuff. And now I'm rich and I can buy anything I want. And there's nothing to buy. There's nothing to buy. Clothes, I already have too many. My wardrobe's completely full head to toe. Don't wear most of them. Diamond watches, you get 10. How many do you really need? Cars, I have 28. I drive like 4 of them. Like, what's there to buy? Coffee, dinner.
Yeah, true.
There's nothing to buy. So the money is just about influence and power. That's all it's about. All I know, what I will say as a matter of fact, is this world is hyper competitive, especially as a man. Most men are walking through life and they don't realize that it's constant competition. And this is my point. If the world is truly that competitive, you do not have time to be depressed because it's a non-competitive mind state. You could be depressed for X, Y, Z, whatever. I'm not depressed. And I want the money you want, and I want the girl you want, and I want the status you want, and the car you want, and the house you want. And I'm gonna get it, and you're fucking not. You're playing a game, and it's a competitive game, and you need to build a mindset that allows you to be ultra competitive. And if you want to sit there and say, no, I want a non-competitive mindset, then fine. You know what you call people who do not win competitions?
Losers.
Correct. Yeah, I think I had the best possible upbringing a person can have, which is good parents and no money. I didn't get famous or rich young, which I also thank the Lord for. I think a lot of these people who get famous online quite early, I think they miss out a lot of life.
It's not real life.
It's not real life.
It's not real life.
No, I had real jobs and I did real things and I was really broke and I was really on the bus and really trying to pay rent and doing real stuff for a long time. I always say I'm not rich. I'm a poor man with a lot of money. I always used to say that. And I don't want to brag or anything, but just because I get asked this question a lot.
I've been extremely successful. I have hundreds of millions of dollars. In fact, I think our last valuation across everything we own we're almost at B now. So we're doing very, very, yeah. I'm a billionaire. Top G's a billionaire. So we're doing extremely well. That's the first thing. The second thing, it's great that you say that because I completely agree. Because if you're born with everything, if you're born with all this money, that you have no aspiration, nothing to actually grasp onto and trying to achieve, then money doesn't make you happy. But then you can analyze this from another angle, right? We were just talking earlier, we can always pivot back to who the matrix are, who's in charge. So let me ask you.
Do you have somebody that
Well, let me ask you a question.
Okay, go ahead.
If you're born into a dynasty, let's say a banking dynasty, and you're born a billionaire, and you have everything you've ever wanted ever, and money has absolutely no value at all, and a brand new Ferrari doesn't mean a thing. You could buy one every 10 minutes for the rest of your life. And money doesn't make you happy. What's the one thing that's going to make you happy?
Controlling others.
Controlling others. Power.
Yeah.
Ego. So then you sit there and start looking at things.
Because
and going,
games become real.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now you're like, okay, well, money doesn't satisfy me. What makes me feel important? Especially if you're going to add in. Let's add in another angle to it. Let's imagine you falsely believe, because it is falsely, that you're somehow genetically better than others. You're from this lineage. You're better than the other people. And the other people, the serfs and peasants, are struggling for money, and you have unlimited money because you're so smart and your family's always been so smart.
You'll have haughty eyes.
Yeah. So then you're going to sit there and go, well, why did they make people put on a mask when they walked in the restaurant and take the mask off to eat and then put it on to go to the toilet and then take it off to eat and then put it back on? Because
I have a
I'll tell
theory.
you why, because it's funny.
You think it's just because it's funny?
Because it's an ego. Because it's ego.
I thought it was the test to see how far they could push something.
Compliance tests.
Yeah.
Which is the same thing. So when you really understand that people who are in charge of the world are completely, like you said, broken. They're broken people. Money can't satisfy them. People said, I keep referencing COVID, and I do that because it was something tangible that everybody lived through. That's a very easy one to reference.
This is actually, it's a bad thing that could work in your favor because now they could relate to you.
Yeah.
If you're at a gas station and it's 3 a.m. and a Lambo pulls up and a guy gets out of it, you're thinking criminal, drug dealer, gangster.
Yeah.
You're not thinking, he has a uni degree. Because you're not going to think that. So when you see money, people don't even associate the money they see with university. But then they go, I want to make money, so I go to university. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. So I think everybody knows that the system and the path they lay out for you is not a path that's going to lead to where you want to be. And I didn't know what the other path was, but that intrinsic distrust for the system and that distrust for the things they wanted me to do made me search for other avenues. And then I found them, right? And if you speak to the people who are richest, if you speak to the people you know, this is for everyone at home as well, if you speak to the people you know who have the most money and go up to them and say, hey, what made you rich? None of them say school. Do any of them say school made me rich? I got an A in GCSE. Like, who gives a shit? It's bullshit, right? So it's all indoctrination. So I knew it was indoctrination, and for that reason, I was always searching. And if you're searching, you're going to find.
Yeah.
So
the average people come to me and say, what do I do? I'm just the average guy. And my only answer is stop being the average guy. It's my only answer. You can't just be the average guy anymore. The idea from the 1950s that you can just be the normal, average, law-abiding, hard-working citizen and you'll have a good life is gone. Any man out here who goes, I'm just going to work hard, do my bit, and obey the laws, and I'll have a good life. No, you won't. No, you will not. Just doing your job is never going to make you rich because you're just going to be taxed into infinity and you're going to stay broke. So just obeying laws and doing your job now has set you up to be a peon and a slave for eternity. You have to get yourself in a position where you're making enough money that, I'm not saying laws can be broken, but there certainly can be bent. I mean, I think you know this with accountancy and the way that tax laws work. You get to a certain level where it's like, okay, yeah, we can just put that one to the side. We can twist that one around.
Arnold Schwarzenegger says, break the rules, but don't break the law.
Completely, yeah, and that's basically it, right? So you get to a certain level, and that's where it's really interesting because the average peon, their answer to all this is, we need to tax the rich. Because they don't understand how money works, and they don't understand how the world works, and they think that rich people are out here working some kind of job that you can tax.
Yeah. I've spoken to dudes and like, yeah, I had a bad couple months. Why? My girl left me. You've wasted months? You've wasted months over some like you had think of how much God loves you to have given you the grace and given you the opportunity to waste months of human time over some chick. Like, talk about blessed head to toe. If I waste months, empires are going to collapse. I'm going to end up in a cell or dead if I waste months. I have things to do every single day. I can't waste a second. Like, these people are just absolutely infinitely blessed. And their mindset is a product of that because they're spoiled children. absolutely spoiled children. If you're going through life with any other mindset besides a hyper competitive one, where you are capable of competing with some of the most dangerous men on the planet in all their forms, me and my network, and also my competitors. If you don't have that mindset, then you have to understand that you are spoiled. You're spoiled by your reality. I believe there's only 3 reasons people are not rich. One of 3 reasons. They're either stupid, arrogant, or lazy. Stupid is actually the smallest category. People think, oh, you know, there's a lot of stupid people. There are, but I know a lot of stupid people with a lot of money, right? There's so much money in the world. To be too stupid to generate money, I think is less than 5% of the population who are genuinely too dumb to ever make a good wage. Then you have arrogant and lazy, and these are the 2 most common. Lazy because people just, oh, you know, but I need time to myself. Oh, you know, but it's the evening. Or, you know, it's hyper competitive. There are people who do not need times to themselves. There are people, there's an Indian in Islam, or there's a guy in Islamabad who'll do your job online for $3 an hour and he doesn't sleep. You're gonna lose, right? So if you're gonna be lazy in any regard, you have to understand there are people like me who are billionaires who work 18 hours a day. When I finish this, I get into my car and I open my laptop and I work on my way to my next appointment. And then I'm gonna work all night until the day I go. When I go to sleep, I close my laptop and I'm asleep a minute later. I work, that's all I do. So lazy is a big problem because people go, oh, but I just want to relax. If you just want to relax, that's fine. But you're competing against people who just don't want to relax and you're going to lose. And the last, and I'd say that's around, a lot of people have that element to them. A lot of people are lazy. That's about 50% of people. But the main reason people are not rich is because they are arrogant. 50% of people are brutally arrogant. And I'll give you an example. I have a school where I teach people how to make money online. It's called The Real World. It was called Hustlers University. It's now called The Real World. TheRealWorld.ai. You can see it at CobraTake.com. I sit here as a billionaire and I sit and say, I will teach you how to make money online. Anybody, 18 modern wealth creation methods. It's $49 a month and I will teach you. And people will sit there in their brutal arrogance and as a brokey with no money and go, yeah, but can he really teach me? I have everything you've ever fucking dreamed of. I have all the money. You have nothing. And you're so arrogant that you believe you know more than me or that you can do it without me or that I don't know how to teach you. The arrogance of people is truly mind-bending. If you know so much, why are you broke? You obviously don't know. If I want to learn how to box, I wouldn't walk into a boxing gym, find a guy who can box and go, yeah, you know, not bad, but can he really punch? Like, this is how people think when it comes to money. You guys are all successful enough. You can sit there and say, look, I do X, Y, Z. I have X, Y, Z. You don't have it. So do you want to learn how to play piano from the piano teacher, or do you want to sit there as an arrogant brokey? Most people are brutally arrogant. And you can sit there and you can try and help them, and they're just so arrogant. They think, oh, I can do it myself, or I'll work it out myself. I don't need help. And it's arrogance, and it keeps them at the bottom. Everything great that's happened to me in my life, someone taught me. I had a kickboxing coach. My dad was my chess coach. You get taught things. To sit there and think you're too good to learn, well, this is the problem. Most people are broke. Most people are broke because they're arrogant, bro. It's the truth. It's nothing to do with how stupid they are. They're just arrogant people. You know what's a fantastic motivator for men? Shame. I'm telling you now, it works. Shame. If I'm around my house and someone was getting fat and all of us were to go, you're a fat fuck, what are you eating that for? I guarantee they'd train. Shame works with men. And you talk about this, and this is the reason I promote brotherhood. The reason I am the man I am is not just because I'm so fantastic. It's because I, even now to this day, live with 6 men. I live with my fight coach. I live with my brother. I live with some of my old friends I've had for 20 years. We live in this big ass compound, this huge house. If I wake up and my brother's been training an hour and a half, I feel so annoyed and angry and guilty that I have to go and beat him now. So that competitiveness keeps us constantly at edge. People say me and Tristan are best friends and our brotherhood is fantastic, but it is based on competitiveness. But we don't compete against each other. We compete to prove to each other we're a good teammate in the battle against the Matrix.
How do you get there? Because I've seen a lot of men get torn up by that.
Yeah.
So how do you get to a healthy way where we're competitive, but it's not going to destroy our relationship?
Well, you have to understand that there's enough outside enemies. You have to put your ego aside and say, look, there's enough people who already want me dead. We're the same blood. Can't we at least unite against all the people who want me dead? I want you. I'm in competition with you, Tristan. I want to beat you to prove to you I'm a fantastic teammate to you, as opposed to I want to beat you because I don't like you. And it's a different mentality. And we'll sit there, and my brother and I are in constant, endless competition, but it keeps us sharp. So masculine competition is super important, which is why it's the third thing I teach, which is brotherhood. You are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you find some guys who have their game right, your game's going to get straight. It's as simple as that. And I think if you take any man on the planet, in any situation, in any scenario, and you tell him to become as strong as possible because of all the lessons he's going to learn, become as rich as possible because of all the lessons he's going to learn, plus obviously being strong and rich are benefits,
Plus, find a network of brotherhood of men who are accountable to themselves and by extension accountable to you. If you're accountable to yourself as a man, you're also accountable for your friends. I don't want loser friends. I don't want dickhead friends. If I had a guy I really liked and he started being a dickhead, I'd try very hard to fix him. And if I couldn't fix him, I wouldn't be his friend anymore. I'd say, stop that. We don't do that. Why are you doing that? What are you crying about again? Why are you acting that way? Come on, let's go train. I don't want to train. But we always train. Come on, let's go. And then after a while, I'd be like, he doesn't train anymore. Get him out. Bye. Go get eaten by wolves. That's the unfortunate reality of the world, because I'm just some of the 5 people I spend the most time with. I don't want to wake up one day feeling terrible and going, but he's missing the day and I might miss the day. His poison will get in my brain. I have to resist it. So if you get a brotherhood, masculine brotherhood, and you're accountable for yourself and for them, you're going to be able to do nearly anything.
People will shield laziness with anything. No one wants to admit they're lazy. So they'll shield it with disbelief. That's a scam. Or, I don't work hard, I work smart. Bollocks. More cover. For just anything it takes to say, I don't want to work.
Do you believe in that? Work smarter, not harder?
I believe in both.
Yeah.
But there's a time when it comes to work smart. And most people are trying to do the smart work before they do the hard work. It's kind of like talent, right? You don't notice if you're talented at something until all the hard work's done.
Yep.
I could be the most talented tennis player in the world, but I don't play tennis. So if I go down the tennis court, Joe Schmo is going to smoke me. I don't get to see my talent until I've worked so hard that I'm in the top 1%, and now I'm beating them because I have some God-given gift.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
You have to do the hard work first. If there's no hard work, there's no smart work. So someone's going to sit there and go, I work smart, I don't work hard, so I only have to work an hour a day. If working smart gets you a lot done in an hour a day, then you should work smart for 12 hours a day and get 12 times the work done. I am absolutely and utterly a believer in hard work. I'm a proponent of hard work. I have all this money and all I do is work. My entire life is work. This podcast is work. I'm getting in the car, I'm going to another meeting, work. I'm going to fuck a bitch. That's work. She's going to be on my arm at the fucking Cannes on the film festival. That's more credibility. I consider it work to fuck her. That's work. I want to go to the gym so I'm in good shape. Work. It's all work. My entire life is work. And people don't want to look at life that way. They want to talk about work-life balance and being lazy and all this crap. I don't believe in any of that. I believe in if you want to win, you have to outcompete the man who's prepared to do nothing but work. It's player versus player. If you're going to sit there and go, I don't want to work more than an hour a day, well, the guy who does want to work more than an hour a day is going to beat you. And no matter how smart you are, there's always a smart dude who's doing the same smart work you are for more hours than you're doing it. That's just the nature of the game.
And we talked earlier about speed. Most people go, it's only 2 weeks. It's only a week. It's only a week. The people who say it's only a week are the people who are broke.
They don't value time.
That's the reason you're all poor, because you say it's only a week. It's tomorrow. Oh, I'll do it later. It's only an hour. It's only a day. It's only a minute. You are competing against people like me. We do not waste a second.
Being a normal man or an average Joe is always going to suck. The only way to have a good life as a man is to be exceptional in some fields. Here is how you do it.
Yeah.
You need to work your ass off. They delete me. They want men to stay depressed, semi-depressed, miserable, paying the taxes, just rich enough to pay tax, too broke to do anything else.
Yeah.
And that's what they want. That's where they want you. So they don't care about men's mental health either. They don't care how many men kill themselves. They don't give a shit.
This is why I talk about the Matrix. People say, why do you talk about the Matrix all the time? And I say there are people who are living right now in a computer-generated reality. If you believe everything you're watching on the news, you are believing a complete false version of reality. And the idea of that reality is to keep your brain occupied enough so that you'll continue to do a shit job for shit wages and pay your taxes until you die. That's exactly that's the plot of the Matrix movie. They're abusing your body and controlling your mind so that your body will sit there and do what they need it to do until you're no longer useful anymore. And that's exactly what's happening. And another question I get is people ask me why I'm so interested in this fight against the Matrix. And I try and explain to people that I believe this fight cannot be avoided. I think you're either combating the Matrix and fighting against the garbage they're telling you, or you're believing it. And if you believe it, then you end up fighting against yourself. You end up fighting against your own mind. You can't avoid the battle. If you're a full-grown man and you believe everything that's on the news, you're going to end up fucking semi-depressed, divorced, miserable, broke. Like your life's shit anyway. There's no way to escape this fight. You're either buying their crap and fighting against your mind, or you're fighting against their crap. There's no other way to do it. I've never met somebody with a fantastic life who did not completely and utterly believe in themselves. I've never seen somebody massively succeed and they didn't believe in themselves, ever. I've never seen somebody who just allows life to happen to them and become blown off course by some sadness, end up doing massively monumental and important things. I've never seen it. And if she leaves me afterwards, let's say she just likes to leave men, I don't care. I'm still working. You're still crying. You can't possibly ever beat me. I'll continue to beat you into eternity, as will my bloodline. You will sit and pay the price for the rest of your human years. Even your ancestors above you are disappointed in you, and your offspring for the rest of your lineage will look up and say, my great-great-great-grandfather was a loser because I broke his heart, and now we've been broke ever since.
Yeah. Chess and fighting are remarkably similar.
Very. You have to know what your next move is going to be countering his next move.
And there's no luck. If you lose, you made a mistake. There's no such thing as a lucky punch. If I'm losing a fight, or if I'm beating some guy up, and he hits me with one shot and knocks me out, and people go, that's a lucky punch. He's trained his whole life to punch people in the face, and he punched me in the face. You call that lucky? I call that good. I think it was a very good punch. Excellent. Probably his best punch of his career. No such thing as lucky punches. Same thing with chess. If
and
you
also
lose,
you left your guard down.
Absolutely. It's my fault. Same thing with chess. Brutal self-accountability. If you lose, you made a mistake somewhere. How do you learn that? You have to go back, reflect. You have to watch the game back, play the game back. Where did I make the mistake? You don't blame your opponent, you blame yourself always in chess. It's self-accountability. So when I stopped playing professional chess, I decided to move over to fighting because they're very similar. It's one-on-one, it's not a team sport. So that's why I chose to fight, but I never considered fighting fun. I never took it as, ha ha ha, this is fun. I was out to hurt people, for real.
Firstly, I'm gonna tell you something about myself and most rich people. We don't own anything. I don't own anything. I don't own anything. There may be a trust fund in Ecuador that owns a company in Singapore that might own a yacht that I can borrow, for example. But I don't own shit. So that's the first thing. The second thing, you have all these different jurisdictions around the world. It's extremely complicated. How are you going to tax a rich guy? He has houses here, houses there, company here, company there, all the companies making a loss. Does Starbucks pay tax? No, Starbucks supposedly doesn't make money. Supposedly Uber's never made profit. An app on the phone with millions of cars around the world and people working endless hours for them and them getting a cut of it to run an app. Supposedly they've never made profit, never paid a penny tax. Funny how that works. You can't tax the rich. It's too complicated. You can't tax the rich. It doesn't work. All you're going to do is just drive them into other countries. If England right now today were to announce a huge tax on the rich people would just go, oh, cool. I'll base my company out of Belize. Few pieces of paper, fuck you.
We don't really learn lessons unless they're learned the hard way.
Yeah.
I believe that unless a lesson has taught the hard way, you're not going to learn it. You can have so many near misses and people won't learn their lesson. Bro, you must know a guy who goes out there, nearly crashes his car, doesn't slow his ass down till he wrecks it.
Yeah.
Like, this is how people are, right? So you need that pain for the lesson to sting enough to really genuinely go inside of your mind. And it's the same with everything. It's the same with driving a car or business. Truthfully, if you want to learn a lesson about business, you're going to have to suffer at some point, right? So we always say that most people are not successful with their first companies, X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. I get that. The truth is, there's a lot of people who make a lot of money with their first company, but they just spunk it, act an idiot, and it all blows up in their face. And that's how you get the discipline on your fourth company, that when you have $3 million in the bank, you just leave it there. You know, and don't be done with it. So you need to go through some pain. You need to experience some negative things. You need to have to a degree some trauma to really even learn any lessons. So yeah, business studies, you're right. The book, that's not going to teach you anything about business. You need to get out there on the streets. You need to make mistakes. You need to suffer. You need to have the tax man knocking at your door. You got to deal with all that stuff so that you make sure it doesn't happen again. I really think that humans are stupid enough to only learn the hard way. That's kind of how it works.